David has asked us if we could have a discussion about how teenagers can become disrespectful to their parents using those three dreaded words, I hate you. It's something no parent wants to hear, is it?
It isn't, but you know what? You know what I would say? When I think back to when I was a kid, and it was one of my most delicious parts of the day was getting home, ignoring my mum, stomping up the stairs and whispering, I hate you. Because actually what I was doing was taking out the day and taking out the frustration. So my first bit of advice would be to say, don't take it personally.
Yeah.
And just try and love them a bit more. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny you saying that about, you know, you taking that out on your mum. I think what a child wants from you is unconditional love.
Yeah.
And so they want to know that they can say the most horrid thing to you, and that is the most horrid thing, isn't it? And my kids haven't as teenagers, but, I mean, I do think back to that when they're younger, and occasionally you get, I hate you, and I go, oh, God, that's a shame, because I really, really love you, and I will always love you. And it really... I was going to say a bad word there. It really annoyed them. But, you know, just, it's what you say, just you cannot take it personally. You've got to think, well, OK, something's going on with you. You're really not very happy. We need to sort that out. But right now, I love you. And that's it. And it kind of spikes the guns a bit.
Have your kids ever said they hate you, Judi?
No, not to my face, not that I know of. I think I'm a bit too old school. Sometimes I do check myself because I feel like if they said to me, like, I hate you, I'd be like, OK, but do you hate the bed that you sleep in, the house that you live in, the clothes that you wear, the food that you're eating? Because if you hate me, you hate all of that too. But I think my old school ways is, you know, it's leaving me. I probably would have a conversation with them and be like, what's going on? And just like you were saying, Kate, try to give as much love as possible. I think I'd be a worrier. I'd worry. I'd be like, what have I done? What's going on?
Where does that come from in you, then? I
think there's a part of, you know, especially being a single parent, it's that guilt. Like, have I done enough? What's going on with them?
Do you want your kids to be scared of you?
Well, I definitely want them to have the fear, because I feel like, look, I'm the one who's the joker, and then I'm the parent, I'm the disciplinary. I need to be the person that, whatever they're doing outside the home, in that moment, they're going to think, oh, my gosh, if my mum knew this, I'm more scared about how she's going to react. So I do try to make sure they know, like, I'm not going to rant, but at the same time, if you come to me and say to me, Mum, I've got to tell you something, but promise me you're not going to get upset, then we'll have a conversation.
We have this conversation a lot, don't we? I think in parenting advice these days is you want to be on a level with your children, you don't want them to fear you, you don't want them to whatever, you don't want them to whatever. But I'm with Judi, like, I do want my kids to be scared, not necessarily of me, but of the consequences. I think there's so many people out there that are grown up without consequence. And that scares me. I want my kids, if they're doing something wrong, to immediately feel remorse, fear, everything that they should feel. And part of that is like...
I don't think I want my children to be frightened of me, but I know that they are very frightened of disappointing me.
Yeah, so
they
that's
really,
and
that would be a consequence, I suppose, that I've let you down, or not that I've even ever said to them, you've let me down. It just seems to be inherently in them.
But you were a bit of a wild teenager. I mean, you've been very open about that, haven't you?
I was
a wild
teenager.
I can't believe it.
God forbid, please, my kids don't turn into me as teenagers. Zachary, so far, so good. Where's the wood in this flat? I don't know. But I was awful. I was an awful teenager. I think, honestly, and I'm not giving myself excuses, but I think I was really understimulated. I think that
At school?
Yeah, just in general, I needed a bit more, and I wanted to push all the boundaries. And my poor mum and dad, oh, my gosh, I'm sorry, mum and dad. You're heroes. They are my heroes.
Did you ever say to them, I hate you?
Oh, it was, you know, almost like...
So why did you? I mean, that's the thing. Where was that?
It didn't mean anything. It had no... Like, that's what I would say to David, is that actually when I was a teenager and I was frustrated with my parents, it was more because I just was frustrated, like what Nadia said, in life in general. I was frustrated that I wasn't challenged, and I wanted to achieve things that I couldn't achieve yet. There were so many boundaries in place because I was too young to do certain things and I wanted to do them.
You see, I think you've just illustrated perfectly how it's a good way to understand. It's like you said, I was a horrible teenager, but I think what we're hearing is that you were bored. You're obviously very bright. You know, not all schools can deal with that. Everything that you're sort of saying is a bad thing is what I see that makes you successful as well. You know, you do strive for what you want. You will push the barriers. You don't mind saying what you think. And actually, that's what's made you what you are. So I think often when teenagers are acting out, and actually parent advice from this parent coach actually is, just say, wow, I can really hear that you're mad, you're angry about something. What is it? Tell me what's
Yeah.
going on with you. Because it's very rare that they actually hate
But then
you.
sometimes I feel like that is really good advice. But in the heat of the moment,
Yeah.
there's the self-control to be able to just go, oh, I can really hear you right now, when you just want to, like, drag them through the house. It's really difficult.
And different
difficult.
circumstances, depending on what different circumstances. I think for me, factor comes in of being a single parent, living in London, you know, raising 2 children in that environment. It probably contributes to how I need them to listen to me. I need them to feel like I'm the person that they've got to fear. So your circumstances are different, you know.
Oh God,
Yeah, and I think that is really relevant, isn't it? And you know, and it's also what's right for individual kids. I mean, you've got 4 kids. I mean, I know my 2 girls
so
are
different.
entirely different, and different things work with them.
I bet you're so strict. You remind me of a really strict parent.
No,
Are
I'm not
you?
strict.
Not at all.
No, and I'm so inconsistent.
She's
I
a
mean,
bit strict when it comes to sport. She makes them run everywhere.
Well, no, and Bonnie hates it. I've given up. I've
Poor
totally given
child.
up.
I don't want to play tennis, Mum.
Oh, no. I mean, we decided, right, Bonnie, she's definitely walking to school. She's walking to school. 3 days in, she phones her dad from her bedroom in the morning. Can I have a wee lift to the cross? Oh, right then.
Bonnie is
We're
my kind of
rubbish.
girl.
Bonnie is, yeah.